Okay, I want to switch away from schools and talk about a few other things. I want to talk for a minute about social gatherings. I want to remind everybody the social gathering limit in Rhode Island is 15. 15. A lot of people still don't know that, and I understand that. It's changed a lot. So I want to make it crystal clear. 15. And it's not a different 15 people every day. Write down a list of 15 people that you will be with and stick to that group of 15 people. It is the single most important thing we can do to help our situation. Listen, a month and a half ago, Rhode Island was leading the nation in how low our prevalence was. And we're still in good shape. Thank God we are still in good shape. Still test positive of 2%. We're off the list for New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. But we're not where we need to be. We are not where we need to be. We're not as good as we were, and we're not as good as we could be if everyone followed the rules. Hospitalizations are creeping up. We still have days with 100 or more cases per day. Come on, we have to get kids back to school. I'm hearing from bar owners who are struggling because I had to shut the bars at 11 o'clock. I want to get them back open. They deserve to be making a living, a better living. I can't do it unless everyone in Rhode Island tries a little harder. All of us, me too, my family too. 15 people, stick to it. In the first 5 days after launching the new Crush COVID State Police unit, from Wednesday through the end of the weekend, the unit received about 400 calls. Men and women were sent out to investigate 76 of those calls. And they found 4 violations of the social gathering limit: house parties with 25 people, a street party of more than 40 people, backyard get-togethers of 30 people. In every instance, those parties were broken up immediately without incident. If it happens again at one of those locations, every person will get a $500 fine. If the state police or a member of that task force shows up and you don't immediately disperse, everyone will get a $500 fine. We're serious about this, folks. We have to get more serious. We have a month. We have a month before, we want children to get back to school. We want to get this economy back to be strong. We're at a real tipping point right now. So I know it's summer. I know it's hot. I know it's a time to have parties. I know it's a drag to wear a mask when it's hot out. You need to do it. We need to see 100% compliance with mask wearing. Last week, we inspected hundreds of restaurants, retailers, and gyms. Mask compliance among employees wasn't where we needed it to be. It had gone down. Mask compliance, mask wearing among customers had gone up, so good job, customers. I say we've been at this for a while, and it's easy to feel that we don't have to do this. The reality is we do. If we don't, more people will die, more people will lose their jobs, fewer children will be able to go to school, and it's here. You can't fight it. So please, 15 people, keep your social gatherings small, and wear your masks. I'm not making any changes today. The 11 o'clock hour for bars to be closed remains in effect. We've seen broad compliance with that. I want to thank you for that. And we're keeping everything in effect until we see our numbers going down. A lot of people have said to me, when are you going to ease up? Numbers have to start coming down. And it's on us to make sure that happens. Last thing I will say is this. If you're having a party, if you're having a social gathering, write down the names of the people who are there. It will help us. We've learned that from other states. They have that policy. It's a good policy, and I would ask you, if you know you're having your family over, or you know you're having a few friends over, emphasis on a few, write down the names and phone numbers of those folks. A question that I receive very frequently is, therefore I'd like to address it now, is how come social gathering limits are 15, but you're allowing, weddings and catered gatherings of much greater than 15, and for kids in school, the pod is 30? And it's a good question, and we hear it a lot. We hear it a lot, especially in schools. So I'll say this. A school environment where people are primarily in a classroom with a seating chart, or in a cafeteria with a seating chart, wearing a mask, is a relatively controlled environment. The same is true at restaurants. But you go in, you're seated, you have your mask, people know where you're sitting. It's much more controlled. Social gatherings is where we're having trouble. As we look through all the contact tracing, social gatherings are the issue, where people are crowded together on a beach, crowded together at a party, crowded together in a street party, in a park, no mask wearing, sharing food, close in contact, no 6 feet apart. So in those instances, it's really important that we have a cap of 15, and that is very different than a stable pod of 30 in a classroom with a seating chart, with mask wearing, in a much more controlled environment.